That's a Ready Eddie special. Next project I think I'm going to work on today is these filters. They have to be cleaned every night. So there's 2 keys to accomplish this. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. So what key's what? Okay. So anyway, so we got to pull those out. Sometimes you got to go to the 2nd key. Well, up here, no problem. You're standing up, everything's great. Okay, the problem is when you get down here. So you got to get down here on your knees. Then you got to figure out what key. Then you pull it out. Okay, well the girls have to do that every night, so, and that's not very fun. So the wheels got turning. I'm like, how can we make this easier? Do these really need to be locked? I mean, who's gonna open it up and steal our lint, right? We have someone here all the time. So now if it's unmanned, then maybe. But, so I got to thinking, I'm like, okay, so why don't we just put a latch on there that doesn't have the key? So this is what I came up with. This is my thought. So that's a whole lot easier because you can't, these locks like this, you got to be able to see where you're putting them in at. So you got to get down there. You know, this you don't have to get down. Twist it, slide it, Shazam. Just a little cam lock. This flips back and forth. So they take them out, they'll clean them, push it in, you turn it. You're only standing on your head for a couple seconds versus having to get down on your knees. Oh, this is not the right key. Because these keys, you kind of see how they go in, because there's a little knob here. So you got to see what you're doing when you're down there. Real headache. So that's a project I'm going to work on today. I'm going to try to change out some of these locks. I've got a few of them done, because these screens, after they clean them so long, you see they start to get holes in them. So I found a stainless steel screen that has it's covered with like a rubber coating that's rated for heat. So I've got some of them in already, but I'll take you through that whole process on how I change these screens out. I mean, literally every 6 months I'm changing these screens out, and there's 22 of them, and I'll show you how you got to do it. So it's not a 5-minute deal. So anyways, I'm just trying to make it easier on the girls. If the people that help you with your job, if they know you care and you're doing everything you can to make their job better, then they're going to be more of a team player. They're going to be, they're going to be all in because they know you're doing what you can do to make their job easier. I'm outside in my workbench here. I use the picnic table because I can't really set all this stuff up and do this inside. So here we have a couple screens. This is what's happened. Just when the girls clean them off every day, they have to be clean, so they swipe this off, they start to rip. I found this stainless steel, this is actually stainless steel screen that has a rubber coating, and it's super stiff. If you know anything about stainless steel, you'll know that it's pretty stiff. But this comes in 10-foot by 34-inch sheets. I think it's 34, or 10-foot by 48. But anyways, comes in a big sheet, and I have to cut it down. I have some tin snips that I use to cut it down. I've already cut this down. So, okay, so I determined, I found these clips, and this one I already have on, but I got to change out. This is the clip that's actually on the original lock that's on there. So the clips that they send me were like this long. So, they're way bigger, so you can see. So that's the difference. Well, these won't fit down the slot. How can we make this work? I went over to the car wash. I got a vise over there, and I have a grinder. This is what I need right here. This is the size I need. They send me this. So I lay it on there, mark it, and I cut it off. Getting closer to making these things work. Make sure there's no sharp edges. I don't want the girls to cut themselves. Okay, so now I'm ready to go, right? This particular one is too long. So then I gotta bend it in so it'll catch on the lip. So I had to grind off 22 of these. I'm gonna make it work, right? whatever it takes. All right, so let's get into changing these screens out. First off, I'm gonna take the lock off, these air channel locks. Usually we'd screw these things off with your hands, but there's so much lint and junk from all the, from all the years. I mean, these dryers are 25 years old. These locks have been in there for 25 years, holding this thing in. Get the nut off. Okay, it's off. So if you notice the difference here, this one's a little bit shorter than the one I took out. I had to cut that latch off, and then I have to bend it a little bit to get it to work. We'll probably fast forward to this part. Usually I'll stop it, but tie bars off here that holds the screen down. Here we have our old screen. This dude up. Oh yeah. Okay, so now it's a little bit difficult to get this screen delay in there by yourself. The first couple I had can't remember who was here. Maybe it was Becky. Becky helped me. Well, that's not realistic. She needs to be inside. We can't leave the desk or can't leave inside for very long. So I kind of came up with this little thing. I thought if I put some weight here, like so, unwind it a little bit. We'll get it down here. Get it up to the edge there. Okay, so that breaks just enough. It'll keep it from peeling back under. Or maybe. Hold that, and I can pull this up. This stuff's pretty stiff for a screen. You don't think a screen being this stiff. Little thing here for the latch I got to cut out. This way we'll use to cut the screen. Now on these existing screws, there's no point on these for obvious reasons. You pull this thing out, you run your hand around, you don't want a point to stick you. But that's a problem because I can't get this flat to screw through. Ones with points in it, because this stainless steel screen is tough. I mean, it is really tough. That's the only thing I can get to work, pushing it through. I got about 6 screws, so what I'll do now is I got to go back, take the ones out with the holes, because they've cut a hole through that stainless steel screen for me. So now I can go back with the ones with the flat. Got the flat head on there because I can't get the flat head to go through the screen. So much more sturdy, much more stout. I'm gonna get this lock in. There are 3 components for our lock. So first off, this was a little bit too long. So I don't have a vise here, but I got to put a little bend on this thing so it'll latch. If you did this before, if I stick this between a picnic table, I'm not hardly going to bend something that short. I mean, it's just fairly decent metal. But if I stick this down in the little groove here on the picnic table, slide it down till it's pretty tight, I think. There we go. Okay, so I was able to get a little bend on it, sticking it down the picnic table. See if this is going to work for us. Okay, so when it's locked, it needs to be facing this way. Put a little screw on here that holds it on. Tighten it up a little bit. Then I usually will put a little thread lock. It's a non-permanent thread lock you can drip on there. So that way it'll help it. Even though it has a star washer on there, that'll help it. Trusty rusty multi-purpose screwdriver. See, I was in there, I was able to take out what I needed with this little hex head. Then I got my regular screwdriver on this side. This thing is really super handy. Okay, there you go. That's the Ready Eddie special. Put a little vent on there and Shazam. Alright, so we're going to go inside here, see how it fits. Okay, so I didn't have this on the right way. It's kind of, when you put it on, you're doing it upside down and backwards. One of those deals. So I think we got it right now. See how our okay, perfect. It's tight. Everything's good. My Ready Eddie modification worked. I have 22 of these to do, and it takes a minute. It's a little bit of work. It'll make the, because see, I don't clean these filters at night. I'm not here, so the girls have to clean them. So a little bit of extra effort on my part will make their lives a whole lot easier. I'm working on these screens out here. I start padding my pockets, and I can't find my phone. So as you all know, it's instant panic. So I go in and I say, Becky, call my phone. Maybe I left it sitting in the laundromat here somewhere. Phone rings, nothing. Came out to my truck, nothing. Okay, now I'm starting to worry. You know, did I leave it at the laundromat? I usually never forget my phone. So my wife hadn't left for work yet, so I said, Becky, call home. So she called home and we called my phone back and my wife found my phone. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get this thing, because I got all this stuff out, you know, and I'm working on replacing these screens. And I'm like, man, I really don't want to put all this stuff away. You know, put all this stuff away. You know, it's almost a half hour for me to get to my house and a half hour back. So almost another hour to get my phone. So bless her heart, she said she'd bring it to me on her way to work. And that made me smile. So, so here she is, the most beautiful lady in the world who just brought me my phone. And I told Becky to tell her to come around front in case she ducks in the front, because I got to give her a hug. Thank you, darling. You're welcome. Love you too. All right, have a good day at work. Thanks. Shoo! All right, that emergency is averted. Things are all good. Got my phone. You know, without that, you're that's almost like you're losing your right arm for the day. Looks like a Stady's got somebody pulled over here. Pulls people over every week here out in front of the laundromat. One of our fine patrons came to me here just a minute ago and said, hey, there's something stuck in here. She couldn't put her quarters in there. Let me see if I can dig this thing out. Looks like a nickel because it's not ribbed on the end. Okay, so somebody tried to put a nickel in there and it got stuck. Now, I don't know what part of quarters only and 25 cents. I don't know what part of that they don't understand. We even wrote it out, and if they don't, you know, if English is not their thing, I would think they would know what 25 cents means, but let's see if that's all this was. Okay. You know, we do have a lot of older people in here, and it is sometimes it's kind of hard to tell between a nickel and a quarter. Really. I mean, it's not that hard, but you know, that could have been the case too. They could have had a, you know, grabbed a pocket of quarters and just started plugging them in and happened to grab a nickel and didn't really look close enough. So I guess I don't want to, I guess I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they just didn't look very close. Just wanted to clarify that. I have one more screen here, so I'm going to go ahead and do one more, maybe, so I can get a few of these done today, and then I just work on them as I can in the mornings when I have time before we start getting busy. Keep living a dream. I'm out.